welcome to To Mic, produced by Mars Studios. Today, our guest is going to be Imran,
Yes, sir.
or
Yes, sir.
AKA Chase Adventure.
Yes, sir. Live on location.
All
Yeah.
locations, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First of all,
And
sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
well, first we have also our
Uh-huh.
New
well,
co-host.
co-host.
Let's get it. Samir.
Samir,
Here.
and
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Let's get it.
well, this is going to be weird.
Yeah. I mean, this is your first three-person podcast,
It is our
right?
third.
So
Yeah.
definitely, man. First of all, man, I just want to say thank you guys for having me. Secondly, man, I got a chance to check out some of your work, man, and you guys are really doing your thing, you know. So, bro, good stuff, my brothers.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
stuff,
So
May
good
Allah
luck.
give you guys great success as you guys continue on this journey. You know what I mean? But it's always a pleasure seeing the youth creating. You know what I mean? Especially positive things. So, keep doing your thing, man. I just want to
Yeah.
start off with that.
Inshallah,
For
inshallah.
sure, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we all we're doing is like really like spreading knowledge and like trying to help spread some wisdom and knowledge
Yes.
to a lot of people.
Yes.
That's mainly our goal.
Which
And
is like, go ahead.
Yeah, you never know where this could lead, because it's like
Exactly.
a startup, so it could blow up out of nowhere.
And you know what, man? That's how like most great things start. You feel me? There's a lot of stories about companies and people that started from the ground, bro. It always starts with planting a small seed, and that seed, but you know what you have to do with the seed?
You gotta water it.
You gotta water.
it. Exactly. You gotta water it daily, and eventually that seed turns into a little plant, and eventually that plant turns into a tree. You feel me? So I feel like right now you guys are on that plant phase, and inshallah one day there's gonna be a large tree with many
Yeah.
branches.
I mean, that's
Facts.
that's the hopes, inshallah.
Facts.
All right, so a couple of questions for you. Let's
Uh-huh.
just get started.
For sure.
Well, you work with a lot of startups like such, right?
Mhm.
So, tell me a bit about that journey.
Yeah, man. So I actually was not born in the United States, man. I was born in Bangladesh. I was born in Dhaka. And believe it or not, when I first came here, I did not know a word of English. You feel me? I did not know any English whatsoever. I had a lot of kids pick on me in school. But my first three friends in this country were actually these three Haitian brothers. They took me to their house. They gave me my first ever peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Bro, I went home that day and I was like, Mom, we go to Seatown. I need peanut butter and jelly ASAP. So that's how I kind of got started in business, believe it or not, at a very young age with them. Because every time it would snow, you know what we would do? We would go shovel, bro. Everywhere in Jamaica States, bro. 7 a.m. Me and my friends, man, just go shovel. You feel me?
Wow.
So pretty much and then we kind of got a taste of money, even though it was like, first of all, we're getting screwed, really, right? People were paying us like $20 to
Nah.
do like a 5-car driveway, man. I was like, but you know what, bro? At that age, at like 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, like $20 is like, wow, man, we're going to Crown Fried Chicken. You know what I mean? Every chicken on me today. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I got started in business, believe it or not. Is like I would like to think that was like my very first business. Was like, even though at that time I didn't realize it was a business, was shoveling, which really kind of grew into something larger because it taught us the importance of team, right? And I'm sure as you guys continue on this journey, you guys already have a great team, and you guys, are going to continue building this team. But because especially think about the concept of shoveling, right? And you guys know Jamaica States, right? So those houses are pretty big. So it's like, imagine me trying to go shovel one house, bro, not working out. You feel me? But I got 2, 3 of my brothers with me. You know what I mean? It's much, much easier, right? So slowly, what ended up happening is from shoveling, we actually, I had this other brother, man. His name is Azam, bro. One of my great brother, one of the smartest people I know. When we were in high school, we actually came up with a T-shirt company called Golden Zebra, right? So then what ended up happening is we were just flipping T-shirts. We were just in the hallways flipping T-shirts, but also we got hooked up. Like, not even hooked up, my brother. I want to say it's blessings, bro. We really got blessed because there was this brother at the Jamaica YMCA, the executive director. His name is Cedric Du, and for whatever reason, he really liked my friend, and he called my friend to his office and was like, "Yo, who wants a job?" Actually, not. That's not how it happened. What happened is, so imagine all of us are playing basketball
Yeah.
at the YMCA, huge court, and this guy comes the executive director, he comes in a suit and tie and all that, looking fly. He's like, yo, who wants a job? Yo, 2 people raised their hand, my brother. 2 people. So it just goes to show sometimes opportunity knocks and not everybody opens that door. So it was a packed gym, only 2 people raised their hand. Thank God one of them is my friend, right? So he goes in, he comes back with a job, and the guy tells him, I need another person. So my friend calls me, right? And he's like, yo, man, I got a job. I'm like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, we're shoveling, man. We're good. You know, we don't need jobs. But anyways, we started working this job, and slowly with working with the executive director of the Jamaica YMCA, he actually invited us to a board meeting, right? Where there was like, it's called Jamaica Festival. It's like a place in Jamaica, not too far, man. And I don't know if it's called Farmers Market. That's what it's called.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The Farmers Market.
They still have it.
Yeah. There's like a whole bunch of food and stuff, but supposedly every month they have a meeting there with pretty much like a lot of the organizations in Jamaica. So me and my friends, we got a chance to speak, and what we went there with was pretty much, we were like, we want to start a T-shirt company, right? Just random, we want to do T-shirts. This is when, I don't know if you guys remember that era where the baggy clothes with the polos, you know what I mean? Like, I know you guys,
You're pretty, like, you know.
Yeah, I know you guys are young brothers, but there was an era, bro, where everybody rocking baggy clothes, you know, with the fitteds and the polos, and the shirts were really popping back then, you know. So what ends up happening, man, is we end up actually speaking at this place, right, through that invite from the executive director of the Jamaica YMCA. Shout out to Cedric Dude, man. Shout out to, his name is Cedric Dude, great brother, right? So what ends up happening, man, is pretty much like 2 weeks later, man, I'm at the job that Cedric gave me, and this company called Safe Space, they call us. They're like, yo, we need like 100 shirts. We need like 100 T-shirts. We're like, all right, cool. So then they're like, yo, come meet with us, you know, and let's see what we could get done. Me and my friend go, baggy polos, fitteds on, you know, to a business meeting. It's like, you know. So we end up going there, and they're like, okay, how much do you guys want? So actually, in reality, looking back at it, they were actually doing this just to like help us out, you know, kind of give us a start, because we priced the shirts at $10 a shirt, dude. So like, to the people that know about like the garment industry, $10 a shirt at 100 shirts, bro, that's not really a good price. You could get it, like, we're all from like Desi countries, right? You could get it from India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh for like cents on a dollar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
You know, the transportations.
yeah, man. So we charged them 10, but you know what? They said yes, whatever. We had to go find a printer. Printer screwed us. Printer charged us like $6. You know what I mean? So then we had to go back to them and kind of raise the price a little, so we could make a little bit more money. So now it's more than $10. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, long story short, at the end of that, we made our first $1,000, you know, for $1,000 profit, dude. Yo, man, I felt like the richest person in the world with $1,000 at 17 years old, man. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't go to school for like 2-3 weeks. I was like, yo, I don't need this. I'm like, yo, I'm here. You know what I mean? So that's when like pretty much like that's when like me and my friends, like, the concept of business just like kind of like always got into my head. I'm like, dude, like all I did was like middleman. I showed up at a meeting, I spoke, then I went to another meeting and I told them, okay, this is how much money I need to get you the shirts, and then I found the supplier, and boom, like I got $1,000. Like, you know what I mean? So that's when I first understood supply and demand. Right? Like, every single thing in the world, there's a demand for it, right? You know why? Because everybody in the world has a problem. Think about it. You have a problem. You got a problem. I got a problem. You feel me? Like, the problems I have, if somebody could figure out those problems, dude, I'm willing to pay. You know what I mean? And that's like everybody, bro, you know? So, yeah, man, that's kind of like how I got started, like, very, very early. Like, again, just blessings, bro. I just got blessed with, like, just getting into the business scene, you know? So...
I mean, a lot of people, like, they want to get into business at a young age because, like, right now, if you really look at it, right, like, social media trends, they're like, oh, you're broke, you know? So, like, a lot of kids, a lot of people, like, I think, drop shipping, SMMA, and what else? They got a lot of stuff right now.
A lot of stuff.
The thing is, drop shipping and all these stuff, I know, like, those TikTok reels you get, drop shipping, you'll make, like, so much. But, like, in reality, some of them are scams, to be honest.
Yep.
I mean... I tried drop shipping, right? Like, hear
Okay.
me out. Look, and then I was like, yo,
Scam stories. Let's
I was like, I'm gonna make like like this guy was like, yo, start off with selling it like for $7. You could buy for $7, sell it for like 70, right? And I'm like, I bet. And then I put in like $100 into it, right? I made a website and everything.
Yeah.
Damn, they got no sales, bro. I lost my
Damn.
money, yo.
Damn, that's tough.
But you see, that's why you can't like trust everything on the internet, man.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely true because like trusting everything on the internet is like pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But with the recent trends, I think a lot of the people like especially with the Andrew Tate, right? Like, I mean, obviously that guy is an internet phenomenon right now.
But
So
he
like,
is, yeah.
yeah. So like a lot of kids, I think teenagers, they're realizing that they want to make a lot of money. They're like, oh, business is the best way to go about it.
Right.
But like, not a lot of people like can be an entrepreneur because
True.
not everyone understands the fact that they need to provide a value in order
True.
to actually create a business, because a lot of people are just money minded.
True. And I also feel like a lot of people think it's supposed to be easy.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah,
the
it's
grind
not, man.
is sold separately. You understand? Like, you gotta, like, it's not easy.
Nobody
you know?
talks about the hard parts.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of people think like, oh yeah, man, like if you're your own boss, you're gonna work less hours. Yes, inshallah, at a point you get to that stage, right, where you're working little amounts of time. But until you get to that stage, literally you're working like 12 to 16 hours a day.
Nah, more like
You know?
24, bro.
Man, like,
Yeah.
Some people do work 24.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's you know, a lot of it is just like, I feel like you know, and it really comes down to like passion. You know what I mean? Like if somebody is passionate about business, then that work. Let me ask you guys this actually: what's the opposite of work?
Being lazy. Doing nothing.
Well,
That's
yeah.
a good answer. That's all right. That's not the one I was looking for. What would you say is the opposite of work?
Like unproductive work.
Okay,
like
so
something like that.
so in my mind, right, how I kind of look at it is like the opposite of work is play. You understand?
Yeah.
So now
something like
imagine, right? Like the opposite of work is play. So now imagine like every day you wake up in the morning and you don't have that thing in your head like, yo, I'm going to work. Nah, bro, I'm going to play. Think about when all of us were chilling at Edison Park. Shout out to Shoukat in the back. You know the vibes, right? So imagine all of us are just, when you were younger, bro, when you're like 12, 13 years old, 10 years old, summer vacation comes around. What are you looking forward to? Play. You know what I mean? So it's like, and this is like my experience of dealing with like hundreds and thousands of like professionals. The most productive ones are the ones that look at work as play. They're not going there like, oh man, I have to go to work. No, bro, I get to go to work. I get to go to work in the morning. You know what I mean? I get to go do what I love, you know? And
I think like a lot of people, right? They have that. A lot of the people that are doing like stoic beliefs and like people like Ali Abdel, the people who do the productivity stuff, they're like they say the same thing. Instead of saying I have to do this, think of it, oh, I get to do this.
get to do it. Yep.
And it's also like a psychological state that you enter when you want to do something.
Yep.
It's called the free flow state, where you just do certain things and you're just doing it, but you don't realize that you're doing it.
Right.
That's like something that a lot of people get it when they play sports. A lot of people get it if they love cooking, they get it through cooking. Walking might be
Yeah.
something that you like. Walking is the way that you enter it. But that's something that's there, and like the free flow state is what you're mentioning right now.
Yeah.
Also, like, you know, Kanye, right? It might be like funny, but like Kanye, he said like once that he thinks like a child, right?
Wow.
Like a child has the amount of creativity. Like when you're a kid, you're just imagining stuff. You're like creative, right? Right now, you won't like really like be playful about it or
Right.
anything. But like if you really think about it, like kids are like, they have an imagination of like just think
Right.
of random stuff,
Yeah,
right?
it's random stuff.
And I mean that could like just grow. Like you
Yep.
could just think of something and then boom.
Yeah. And I also feel like to add on to that, it's like the older you get, sometimes unfortunately, right, in the society that we live in, the less creative you get. Why? Because sometimes creativity equals risk. You know what I mean? So it's like when you have more responsibilities, it's like, damn, I got a family, I got kids, I got this, I got that. You don't want to be as creative because it's a little bit risky. But one thing that I've like, at least in my journey, whenever I'm not being creative, that just leads to like my brain like not being its sharpest. You know what I mean? And I feel like, okay, everybody could go work, 9 to 5. That's cool, bro. I actually applaud people that go to work every day, man. I believe it or not, like, I'm sure you guys may have seen this online.
Yeah.
I forgot the guy's name, man, but he was talking about how in 30, 40 years, TikTokers are going to be talking about how the cool thing to do is go work a blue collar job. Go be a handyman, go do this, go do that. So I applaud those people. But it's like, yeah, again, bro, like the older you get, sometimes your
You just
creativity
lose it,
dulls
yeah.
down. You know what I mean? So,
I think it has to do with like the education system too, kind of way, because a lot of things is structured. Because if you look at Lego, right, this is like a brief history of Lego kind of thing.
okay.
So Lego back then was a clay kind of thing, and then they let go of that, and then they moved on. And then they had these blocks that was just like free blocks, like you could just take a block and you could be creative, you could create anything out of it. But right now, if you go to the store, you ain't gonna find that.
Wow.
You're not gonna find like just random blocks.
Wow.
What you're gonna find is minifigures that are actually created, like Star Wars, Iron Man stuff. Like I don't know, whatever they have right now is the theme is that they have right now.
Wow.
They don't have any like free motion, like anything that's like normal Lego building blocks where you can pick the long block and the small block and you build something out.
Wow. I
They don't
actually
have
never
that.
knew that. Oh, okay, that's interesting, man. I never
Then
knew
like
that.
I think they did have that before. When I
they
was a
did,
kid,
they,
I
yeah,
used
they
to-
did
what I'm
have
saying,
that.
yeah.
They did have that before, but now they got rid of it. They don't have it right now.
They don't, you
They're like
can't, build anything.
they
Because,
only
like, I remember I used
Yeah,
to get like
it's-
creative blocks, like
yeah you
specific,
used
like
to
a 4x5. You could like
As
cut
I
it
said,
out to be honest.
like you could be able to do that,
But now they
now
get
you
rid of it.
can't do that.
Yo,
All
that's my
you-
That's
childhood.
wild.
all you I think
wild.
certain parents, they were complaining, saying that, oh, like the kids are asking too much for help and everything. Like if you have like details structure, it's like, oh, go to that.
Go to that. Wow.
Like
Wow.
I mean, in a way that the parents do get comfort, because now the kids doing something and parents are doing something.
Right.
Yeah, but now you just kill the creativity of the kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think
yeah.
about it.
Yeah. And sometimes that creativity never really comes back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't.
Sometimes it doesn't come back. So, you know what I mean?
I mean,
Like,
also like parents kind of come involved, because
Right.
it's not their fault, obviously, but they're like, oh, it's always structured. Yo, you got to be like computer science, or you have
Yeah.
to do this, right?
doctor, engineer.
And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
like they think it's a safe way out because
Yeah.
it is
Uh-huh.
a more stable job. But if you think about it, if you really want to grow,
Yeah.
you can't just do that. Obviously, you
Yes.
have to. If you don't like study something, then if the thing you're doing right now it fails,
Right.
you're nowhere, right?
No, and
But-
I think you hit that right on the head, bro. It's like growth, right?
Yeah.
So in order for people to grow, they have to try different things, But I also applaud people that there's a lot of people that like at a very young age, they figure out what they love, And I feel like a lot of that is through like having older people in your life that could kind of mentor you. You know what I mean? So I like me personally, I got blessed because when I was like 17, 18, straight out of high school, man, like I actually went to college for like 3 weeks. And I asked my business professor, like, yo, what business have you had? And he said, I never had a business. So I'm like, how are you teaching me business? You never had a business. Not to be disrespectful or nothing, but it's like, I kind of looked at it as like, and at that age, being 18, 19, like 17, 18, 19, I didn't really understand that sometimes like you could teach something without like fully being in it. You know what I mean? But like the fact that he didn't have a business and he was teaching me business, it kind of just made me get away from school,
Very
So-
ironic.
Yeah, man.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
like
yeah.
I think like a lot of stuff, right? Like a lot of kids right now, they have the same idea. Like it hasn't changed. They like we had a couple of people that did say, oh, there's this college professor, he doesn't know how to teach because he didn't never done it.
Right.
I think like one of the idea is that like the people who never done something cannot teach it in the same way that someone has done it. Like the way that you would teach business is with a passion and with a purpose. You would teach it as in the first person perspective.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
right,
you would say stuff that are legit. Like you've been through that.
Right.
You've
right.
been through the hard stuff.
Yeah.
But like when you look at like a professor that never has done it, like you're not gonna learn from it. It's like saying I go to a doctor and he learned it from the books and he never actually experienced anything.
Yeah.
You know, will you trust him? That's basically the thing right here.
Right.
Like nobody will trust someone who has never done it before.
Uh-huh.
You
True
know?
that.
That's why doing like interns or something like that, they're really helpful because they give you first-hand experience and you get mentored while you're doing it.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I think like the misconception is right now is that college is bad, but I think like the one thing that college could help you out is connections. Something that you need because you're as strong as your connections and you're as weak as your connections.
Yep. Your network makes your net worth.
Yeah.
Right? Your network makes your net worth. On top of that, another thing, even me being a college dropout, one thing that I wish that I did go to college for, you know what it does? It builds discipline. Because think about it, like you're going to some classes that you might not have no interest in and you still have to go and pass. Because like you might be paying for it, so you don't want to lose money, right? So yeah, I think college does build, to a certain extent, it does build discipline and grit. You know what I mean? So, and again, like if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or things of that nature, which a lot of people are passionate about those things. I'm always scared of a doctor that never wanted to be a doctor, by the way. Anybody watching this, if you don't want to be a doctor and your parents are making you go be a doctor, please don't become a doctor because
I think that's definitely true because like doctors, like you gotta have passion for a doctor, you know?
Yeah, man.
Like, I'm trusting like someone like you can't trust any doctor that doesn't want to be a doctor and like he's like giving you a prescription and you're like,
yeah, man. Yeah, and you know what? I actually witnessed that like a lot, like pretty much like especially like in our Desi communities. It's like a lot of people, and I'm sure it's like that in other communities as well. But it's like, yo, you're just becoming a doctor to like make somebody else proud. Nah, bro, make yourself proud. You feel me? Like it's a different, when you wake up in the morning with like a sense of purpose, like, yo, like I'm supposed to be doing this today. You know, it's like, it's just a different feeling, man, you know?
So yeah, that comes to the point, like, you have a passion, right?
Yeah.
But that passion should not be a selfish reason.
Right.
Which is like, ego, right? It kind of builds up ego because you have a passion and you're like, oh, I want to be this person. But now if you have a purpose backing up that passion, then you should go ahead because a purpose is not just for you, now it's for everybody. You're creating value, you know?
Yeah,
but honestly, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I don't really know what I want to be though. Like, even though I'm doing comp sci, it's not like I really want to do comp sci. It's like, let's see where this leads to.
Right.
And then, you know, that scares me, to be honest. Like,
well, what made you start it?
Because like I like tech, right?
Okay.
As I said in the previous podcast. And it's just that's the most reasonable thing to do, like comp sci.
Right.
Right. But like, there's a lot more in comp sci than like you really know. So.
Yeah, and there's a lot more we haven't even discovered in that topic. You know what I mean?
It's just ever growing. Yeah,
man. And I mean, dude, I feel like that's a great subject to be in, but only you know if that's the right thing for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like me, I would love to be a coder, dude. It's just like, yo, I don't have the patience to sit there and like code. So I applaud people that are into coding because it takes a certain level of focus, a certain level of determination to like fix whatever you gotta. Again, I don't know too much about it, but like I actually used to sell. What I do know about it is like I actually used to sell websites for like about like 5-6 years. That was like my main business where I was just selling websites to like doctors, lawyers, you know what I mean, real estate agents, whatever.
You made them? Like you
Nah, dude. So that's the thing, right? So just to backtrack a little, like when I was like 18, this one guy named Sam Udani, I used to work for him at this company called ILW, Immigration Law Worldwide. So he had me like making phone calls for him to like, I don't know if you guys,
Cold calling?
Cold calling. Yeah. He had me cold calling. I love cold calling, dude.
You love it?
I love cold calling. You know how, just not to like get too off topic, but you know how like anybody that's in business and anybody that knows sales, right? One way to look at cold calling is, you know how you have to look at cold calling? You look at it as a prank call. It's a professional prank call, bro. That's all it is.
Nah,
dude,
hell yeah, bro.
That's
like,
all it
he's
is,
not lying
bro.
about that.
It's a
think about it.
Yeah, dude. Like, cause again, like when I was younger, me and my friends all used to like prank call. You know what I mean? Call 2 Chinese stores, put them together.
yeah.
You feel me?
I've done that.
Call the dentist, say some wild stuff. Oh, my teeth is messed up. You know. Anyways, so pretty much like you know, you kind of got to look at like business calls that way. You can't take it too seriously. Especially like being in sales, like if you're in sales, like you can't take stuff too seriously, dude. Like it's like, oh, somebody said no, it's okay. Every no gets you closer to a yes, and that's just with anything in life, right? Every no gets you closer to a yes. So yeah, man. But as far as like computer science goes, man, like what you like, do you know several languages right now, or?
Right now I'm learning C++, right?
Nice.
And then I'm just stacking up on math. So
Nice. Nice,
Bro's
nice,
kind
nice.
of broke out life advice.
Nice. Nah, dude. I mean, yo, like if you choose to pursue that, that could really take you far. I'll tell you that much. There was, it's funny because sometimes I look back at my old stuff, and one thing that I put, like, I don't know if wait, do you guys use Facebook?
I mean, I have an
Damn.
account, but I never like.
Yeah,
I know,
old, bro.
I know how to use it, but it's not
Okay,
like
okay,
I have
okay.
it.
Okay, so you guys definitely don't know MySpace.
MySpace,
Nah.
yeah, I heard
know
about
MySpace?
it. Like
Oh
my
God.
teacher gets made fun of a lot. Like this
Uh-huh.
guy's like this teacher's mad chill, but like I love
Yeah.
him. Like I love that dude. Like
Uh-huh.
this is probably the first time in my life I ever understood math,
Wow. Okay.
where he taught. Right, I'm
Okay.
like man, I'm like thankful for him. Right,
Uh huh.
and we used to make fun of like this chill dude. Used to make fun of him a lot about MySpace.
Uh-huh.
It's like, oh, you found your first girlfriend on MySpace.
Yeah. Nah, MySpace, man. I used to love MySpace, man. But Facebook, sometimes for the Facebook users, they'll give you like a notification of your memories, like things that you posted. So it's funny, man, because in 2013, I put up a post where it said, everybody's gonna need to know the third language, right? And that third language is computer programming. And as I've gotten older, I see, yo, that's true. Like, yo, like people that know like computer programming, man, it's like, yo, that's a very useful language, my brother.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean, as a person who actually codes, right? I think like a lot of people stress about like you need to know a language,
uh-huh,
but all you need to know is how to actually take a bug
uh-huh.
or like a problem, and you need to come up with a logic in your mind
Mhm.
or like a flow chart
Mhm.
in a notebook or whatever you want to do,
Right.
right? Just say that if this happens, I want this to do this,
Yeah.
or like this is the problem. This is how I'm going to solve it,
Right.
because essentially all the languages are basically, so let me give you this, right? So you have the earth and you have all the different languages there. The main purpose of it is to communicate,
Okay.
right? So now you got the world of coding, right? All the languages are there, but essentially all of them are doing one thing. They're talking with the computer to solve one problem.
Mm.
So you doesn't matter what language you know. Essentially, if you know how to fix a problem, if you know how to critically think and solve a problem,
Yeah.
you already know how to program. You just
Wow.
need to learn. You just need to learn how to like. You just need to learn that language, because you just
Right.
need to like. You can't go to like China and say hi. They're not gonna understand it. Possibly, yeah, but like some
Ni
people
hao,
are not
ni
gonna.
hao, ni hao.
You know.
Yeah, you gotta
So,
learn
like-
it. I get you.
So it's the same way in programming.
Wow.
A lot of people think about it like
Yeah,
it's hard.
it's a
but-
language, so obviously you gotta learn it to communicate.
Right. To communicate.
It's
yeah.
like a completely new thing. so.
right.
I mean, it's not that hard.
And
though,
it's so
if you-
funny because that same concept is actually the same exact thing in a field like sales. So like that's what I've been like pretty much like trying to master over like the last decade is sales, right? So a lot of people think about sales as like, yo, I gotta go sell something. Nah, dude, you're not selling anything. You know what you're doing? You're solving a problem. That's literally what you're doing. It's like somebody in the world has a problem, whether it's missing socks or whatever it is, man, or whether it's software. Maybe they need some kind of software. All sales is, and I would like to think sales is like the heartbeat of business, right? Like if you're not generating sales, at one point or another, it's not a business; it's just a hobby, you know. So you have to generate sales in order for you to be at one point. In the beginning, yeah, it might be tough, but at one point, it has to generate some kind of sales for you to be a legit business. For you to consider yourself and others to consider you a business, you got to generate sales, right? And again, I feel like a lot of like especially when I was younger, man, like I was trying to sell, but you never try to sell, man. You just try to solve problems. So it's cool that like you guys have that same ideology in computer programming. Like I actually never knew that. Yeah, man, that's dope.
I mean, like sales, right? Like I actually read a lot about sales. No, I mean, like, I kind of been looking up at like a lot of stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
So sales, a lot of people, what they do is like when they start with the communication, they're like, oh, this is a good product. You should use this, right? As the normal classic, like when you think of sales,
Yeah.
that's what they think. But then I read after reading about like the common mistakes, they're like, this is the first thing you should not be doing.
Yep, 100%.
And they're like, the first thing that you should be doing is asking about their day,
Yes.
asking about them,
Yeah.
asking how they feel,
Yeah.
and then telling them that, for example, let's say for a mom pop store, right? There's this one owner, he or she or whoever it is has to take care of cashier, making the food or making whatever they have to make, contacting suppliers, you know. So if you get them in the loop and explain how they are getting exhausted by these multiple stuff, and that one that if I, let's say, like, for example, I take one of those problems away from you,
Right.
what do you think we'll do? You know, time is money.
Yep.
So like, and then you sell them.
Yep.
That's basically how you do it.
Agreed.
Also, like, I like to add a connection to like real estate because like, when I was buying, when my parents were buying a house, right, they were going like place to place with one real estate agent, and that agent was like conditioning my parents so much. They're like, yo, we would do it, like, you want to go here, all right, let's go here, okay, you want me to lower the price, I will lower the price.
Yeah.
But like, that's how it shows, like, you have to be like
Committed.
you have to, like, you have to treat like your consumers like a kid, like a baby, you know. Like, nourish them, and then you condition them, and eventually, and then they'll just fall into a trap.
Yeah, and you also got to educate. Yeah. And actually, like, sometimes, like, I don't even look at it as a trap, because I kind of look at it as like, if you really need it, you need it, right? So there's this common thing in sales, right? It's like, how about this? Ask me to sell you a pen.
That's a common thing.
Right. That's very
like
common,
the
right?
very common.
Yo, sell me a pen, right? I've been to interviews, man, and I don't think, like, I haven't been to a job interview in a while, man, but I don't think they don't do this anymore. But I used to go to interviews. They'd be like, yo, sell me a pen. And what I would do is I would actually try to sell them the pen. Oh, man, look at this pen, man. It looks so nice, shiny. Look how it, right? Nah, bro, what I learned, especially, like, as I got better at sales, right? I just have to ask you, do you have anything to write today? Do you have any writing? They're like, just say no. Everything I say no. You have anything to write?
No.
Nah, right? Do you need a pen?
Yeah. Well, no.
Nah, you don't, right?
No.
Yo, you don't need a pen. You don't have anything to write. You know what? This pen's not for you. And that is the biggest thing in sales. You have to be willing to walk away.
Negativity.
Yeah, you have to be willing to walk away. Like, if they don't need it, like, dude, I rather not sell you something versus selling you something that you might not need. And this is where it comes down to, like, the how do I put it? Like, sometimes salespeople have a negative perception, right? Other people perceive salespeople as like slimy, schemy. You know, oh, everybody wants to buy, nobody wants to be sold. Remember that. Everybody wants to buy, nobody wants to be
like
sold.
5 times, sorry.
You know what I
You gotta
mean?
get your right audience.
Yeah, man. So it's like, if somebody doesn't need something, don't sell it to them, man. You know, there's like, what is it, 8 billion people in the world? Somebody's gonna need what you're selling, you know?
And the funny part is, like, you know, the thing that you said, nobody likes to buy, nobody likes to be sold, everybody likes to buy, right?
Exactly.
Everyone's being sold right now at this moment. Nobody realizes it.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Nobody realizes, because the same book, like, the same quote, right? It's like, he says that, and then he's like, oh, in sales you do it, but then nobody actually realizes it, because you do get sold. It's just like, in a way that you're like, they make you feel as if you're the person who's buying it intentionally, and not like, you know.
And that's the best, is like when that person who's buying makes that decision themselves to buy, which you as a salesperson, it makes your life a lot easier. And also, say that, okay, like this hoodie, right? If I bought this hoodie and I'm not happy, I'm not gonna blame the salesperson, because I chose to buy it, you know. And I think that also comes down to, like, this other thing that, and I think this is every industry, man. It's like buyer's remorse, right? Everybody in the world has buyer's remorse, dude. It's like when you buy something, oh man, I wish I got this in blue. Oh man, I wish I got a black one. You know what I mean? And that's what, like, and just basically, man, that's like one thing that I learned over the years. Because sometimes I'll buy a pair of sneakers. I'm like, oh man, I wish I got another color. But you know what that comes down to, my brothers? Ungratefulness, bro. Cannot be ungrateful. If you buy something from somebody, just be happy. It's like, yo, I bought it. You know what? I spent my money already. Take my money. I'm happy. That's it, man. You
I
know?
think, like, a lot of people have that same issue, and then, like, going back to the business idea, right? I think, like, every single thing is a business.
Yep.
Every single thing is a business. You know why? Because if you look at schools, right, even public schools, you're like, oh, same thing you said, buying remorse, right? Like this kid says, "Oh, I got this grade, but I went to the school, but like I don't want to go to the school anymore. I want to go to that school. You know, I wish I went to that school."
Yeah.
And then the same thing with universities, same thing with the workplaces,
Yeah.
same thing with everything. Like
Yeah.
everybody has the remorse, no
Yeah.
matter where they go. It might not be in that specific area, like business wise, like buying a product,
Yeah.
but it is in every single aspect.
Right.
Same
I
thing.
think that's like the human nature, to be honest. Like
It is the human
True,
nature.
true.
like if you get a grade, like, oh, I got a 70. I wish I had an 80. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you
Yeah.
always want more, and
You
that's
always
just part of who we are. to
And the
be honest.
hadith goes
Yeah.
by like saying that every son of Adam, even although he might have like two mountains, or I don't know if this is a hadith or a story by someone.
Uh-huh.
I believe it's a hadith. I'm like 90% sure if it's a hadith, right?
Okay.
So it's like if there's two mountains, right? If there's two mountains that's gold, and the son of Adam has it, he will wish for that 1/3 golden mountain.
Wow. Wow. No, that's
So like,
deep.
it's always like humans are always ungrateful.
Ungrateful, yeah.
Like if you really look at it right now, the situation in Gaza and Gaza and then Israel, it's the same thing. Like right now, be happy that you're not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro, like just seeing that situation, man, it kind of makes me feel like, damn, like I really have everything. You know what I mean? Anybody that I see complaining, I'm like, yo, dude, you're not there. You're not getting bombed today. You got food, you got water. You know what I mean? So I heard this one quote, man, just to add on to that. It's like, just to like add on to the theme of like gratefulness, being grateful, right? Shakur is whether you look at the glass as half full or half empty, make sure you drink the water, because there's a portion of the world that's dying from dehydration every day.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we got water. I don't care if I look at it half empty, half full. You know what I mean? So it's like now, like, and I love the fact that like again, I see some of your episodes. Like most of the people that you guys have had on here, they have like positive mindsets. You know what I mean? And that's something that we have to keep pushing. Is like yo, positivity. 70%. And I don't know the exact number, but you know, Instagram and stuff, they have a whole bunch of stuff like on my algorithm about positivity, right? So it's like I seen this one guy, he mentioned like, oh, 70% of our thoughts are negative, and only 30% is really positive. Now the challenge now, and this is something that I'm still like trying to better, and this is something I'm trying to learn from like people of all ages, is like, how do we get to that place, right? Of like, yo, positivity is at the forefront of my mind. Like I wake up in the morning, alhamdulillah, blessed. Something bad happens in my day, alhamdulillah, blessed. And the only answer that I've really found, my brothers, is like to stay on that mindset. It's Islam, bro.
That is true.
It's,
I was also actually about to say that.
Yeah.
It's like if you look at the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he's like the level of iman that a person has determines how much positive thought he has.
right.
Because as a Muslim, you know that good or bad comes from Allah, right? And
Qadr,
everything happens because it's for the best of you, your
Yep.
thing. So if you have that level of iman that you are explicitly mentioning that, oh, whatever happened today happened because of the best, and something will happen tomorrow that's better because of this, and this Allah's qadr.
Qadr, yep.
Qadr as in
Allah,
like
yep.
the will of Allah,
Yeah, predestiny.
predestiny. Then
Yep.
yeah, that's like basically one of way to be.
Yeah, I also think
Yeah.
like this generation, like really, like right now, like a lot of people are becoming atheists, or like their religion is really just going down, to be honest, because
Yeah.
like all of these, too much of the world, like people are worrying about like material stuff, right? And then like that's why like people are ungrateful. They want more. I want another the new iPhone. I want this. I
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah.
But like people have forgotten to be disciplined,
Yeah.
and like religion has just kept on going down.
Which I really feel like a lot of that's like programming, dude. And I don't know if I should be saying this. I don't want to get you guys canceled.
No,
But
you
yo,
look good, you
especially
look
in the
good.
country that we're in right now, like I don't know, like again, like it's been a while since I went to school. But yo, did you guys ever pledge allegiance to the flag?
Oh yeah.
Yo, bro, I pledge allegiance to no flag, my brother. I love my country. I love America. I love I love where I'm from, but I love America. I pledge allegiance to no flag, brother. That's actually the first time that like you actually think about the concept. You pledge allegiance to a flag. What is this flag gonna do for me? That's shirk, bro. You know. So I feel like kind of backtrack on the thing you said about atheists, right? Yes, a lot of people are turning atheists, you know, and I noticed that pattern, especially with the younger folks, bro. So alhamdulillah, like we in the masjid right now, bro. You guys are in the, I see you guys in the masjid a lot. You know what I mean? May Allah keep you guys on that path. You feel me? May Allah keep me on that path as well, you know? But yo, this one funny thing I want to share, man. Somebody once shared with me is like, yo, you ask somebody they don't believe in God, right? Yo, I'm an atheist, right? Yo, you put that atheist on a sinking ship, you know what's one of the first things they're going to say?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Oh, God. I thought you didn't believe in God, brother. You know what I mean? So it's like people, like there's this word, right? Somebody else shared this word with me. It's called fitra, right? The concept of fitra, right? It's like human beings, a lot of philosophers and stuff, they believe like human beings are naturally born evil. That's not true. Human beings have that natural fitra of being good. When you're a baby, you don't know evil. You know what I mean? It's society as you get older that kind of pushes their agenda. And it could be parents, it could be your school, it could, like, bro, that taxes from like all
You're
fronts,
born
dude.
innocent, to be
You're
honest.
born
You
innocent.
don't know what's going on in the world.
If you're enjoying this podcast, please do subscribe, like, and leave a comment in the comment section. And yep, thank you. All right, so a bit of history on me, right? Like I lived in Egypt. I was born in
Wow.
Jordan, right?
I
so
know
like
that. You was born in Jordan?
yeah, bro.
Okay.
And then my
okay.
parents
Alright,
were from
Doc.
Sri Lanka. And my parents were from Sri Lanka. So
Wow.
most of my schooling was in Egypt,
Uh-huh.
right? I even sent this reel to one of my friends, right?
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "Oh shoot," right? So in Egypt, the most demographic race, right, as they call it here, is black. You got black, you got white, you got everybody.
Mhm.
Nobody cares, you know.
Mhm.
You got black, you go more south, you got black because of a darker skin, but right. So I live in Egypt. I don't know about no black man, no white man,
Mm-hmm.
right? None of that idea, nothing. I just see them as a human being. That's it. I come here, I hear about black man. I'm like, what the heck is a black man?
Oh, yeah, so
I'm like,
Nah,
what the heck is a
facts.
black man? Black man.
Facts.
Like that, it was a reel, right? It was a reel that was sent, that I sent to someone too, and I watched it and I realized, yeah, I felt the same way because I did like. When I was in Egypt, I never thought of it in that manner.
Right.
I come here, I'm like, oh, there's such thing as a black and a white, and then a white, and then a
Yeah.
and then a yellow, and then a red. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I think like that shows how like people, right? If you don't talk about racism and everything, that you don't really like instill that idea.
Uh-huh.
But once you actually teach that in the schools and actually explicitly mention certain things,
Yeah.
that's just like part of the programming kind of
Programming. Right.
thing.
Right.
I think like people who live in like rural areas, like even in Bangladesh, right? Like people who live in like little villages, they don't really have like the idea of like these stereotypes. They don't have these stereotypes in mind. They just
Yeah.
think of like everything stays in the community.
Yeah.
Nothing really goes out. But if you live in like cities like New York,
Yeah.
there's just so much going on, right?
Yeah.
There's just
Now, like, if you live in New York, I don't think you could be a racist.
Yeah,
You guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Like, if anybody that's a true New Yorker, you cannot be racist, bro. There's no way.
especially Queens, bro.
Especially Queens, melting pot. You know what I
That's
mean?
like-
Most diverse borough in the world. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that's one thing, like when I was in Bangladesh, like that concept was there, right? You know, this whole concept of like the whiter you are, it's a European concept. The whiter you are, the more beautiful you are, right? But which is not true. Like obviously we all know it's not true, but it's like, and I think that what we were talking about is like, if you're from New York, you can't really be racist, right? And I kind of witnessed that, man. Like when I first came to this country, there's this whole thing of like, and I think this was like back in like the early 2000s. I came here like in 2001, right before 9/11, by the way, right before. Blessed out, right? Because right after, you know, Bangladesh got put on that list of like countries that, you know, you can't enter for a while and whatnot. So, you know, pretty much like, okay, the whiter you are, the more trustworthy you are, the more beautiful you are, which when I first came to this country, man, I discovered within the first 2 weeks that was not true, right? So I'm in the Bronx, right? I'm in the Bronx. I'm on a train and I'm with my family and we're lost. This is the age of like flip phones and stuff, right? So no GPS. It was maps.com, but we didn't have data, right? So we asked this white lady like, yo, like, how do we get back to Jamaica, Queens? Like, well, yo, she just walked away, man. And then we ask another person, right? Another Caucasian brother, just walks away, man. Just walks away. And then we ask this sweet, and I could tell like this lady, I forgot her name. I don't know who she is, but I still remember her face in my head. Like, that's how kind this lady was. This African American sister. We asked her, like, yo, like, how do we? Not only did she give us directions, she put us on the train. She said, honey, you're gonna have to take this train to this stop. I was like, wow, what a nice lady. So it just goes to show, man. It's like, you know, again,
not
like,
just skin.
Yeah, it's not just skin. It's like, and I think what we were talking about was fitra and how we are all born innocent, you know. And as we get older, it's like all these things that kind of influence us to be racist, to be, you know, to have like ulterior motives and things like that, you know. So, which I think, like, if we could backtrack and just like go be our true genuine selves from when we were babies, that's when we're like truly the happiest. I feel like, you know.
Like going back to happiness, right?
Yeah.
So, and like your businesses kind of thing. So I looked through your stuff. You worked at starting off companies like Job Today.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like I see the ads on the subway. I'm like, this man started up this company. I'm like,
yeah. So
damn, man,
yeah,
like,
at least their
you know?
New York City operation. Yeah, man. Yeah, Jobs Today was fun.
Not just Jobs Today, but like every other company, right?
Wait, talk about it. Like, you created Jobs Today?
Nah, I did not create it. That was actually like I got hooked up with them like just randomly, dude. Like, I'll do this thing here and there where like I'll just like cruise like the newspaper and it's like the sales side of me where I'll cruise the newspaper and Craigslist. And I'll just go through a whole bunch of stuff. I'll just make a whole bunch of phone calls. Like, yo, what are you up to? What are you up to? So I met this guy named Don. And he's like, yo, man, I'm about to come to New York. He's from this country called Luxembourg. He's a Korean brother that lives in Luxembourg. So I don't know if you guys...
Luxembourg is a country?
Yeah, Luxembourg is a country right next to Germany. It's actually one of the richest countries in the world.
I mean, I heard of Luxembourg, but I never... Like, actually, like...
Yeah.
It was a city, but...
yeah, I thought it was a city.
I'm like 95% sure it's a country. But you guys could fact check me on that, though. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Somebody fact check that, dude. I'm pretty sure Luxembourg is a country, but...
bro, we fact checking you right now.
Yeah. Nah, for real.
The capital is Luxembourg, and the country is also Luxembourg.
Yeah, right? Hold on.
We fact checking. This is the first time we're doing this, bro. But like,
Country?
yeah, it is a country.
Yeah,
It is.
man. It's a small country.
That's a country. It's a small country.
It's a small country. But yeah, man. So I met this Korean dude from Luxembourg, man.
9 hours from here.
Through the man. So I met him again. Like, this is the beauty of the internet, right? Like, there's like you were saying before, you can't trust everything on the internet, but also at the same time, there are certain things like you just gotta go for, you know.
You gotta go with your guts, buddy.
Gotta go with it, man. So, you know, I ended up meeting up with him. He has an office on 42nd Street. He tells me to come by, and he's like, yo, man, I'm about to start this operation in New York. We're already pretty big in UK, in London. We're like huge, you know. So pretty much, yeah, man, I started working with him, and then slowly I kind of just built my way up with him, and then he left to go back to Luxembourg. And then pretty much like I hired like any company that I've worked with or worked for, one of my first goals, bro, is to get my homies in there, to get my friends in there. You know why? Because I'd rather go work with my friends than a whole bunch of like strangers, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Tell me not, man. Like, even this, like, I'm sure like you guys were looking forward to this because like even without me, like, you guys have each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm gonna go shoot with my friend, or I'm gonna go work with my friends, you know? So this just a little, it's just beautiful when you get to work with people that you genuinely enjoy. So from there, man, with Job Today, dude, we just like kept growing the team. And eventually they just like, what they did is like they fully automated, you know, which is like the goal of any good software company is like, you want to get fully automated, right? So like, alhamdulillah, we kind of helped them with that, and, you know, and they're still kicking it. They're still, you know, providing jobs today.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I'd like to add on because like we created Mars Studios because like with friends, right? We could have like gone up to like some corporate office and be like, yo, propose this plan.
Right.
Or with complete strangers, but like working
Right.
with friends is definitely a better
Yeah, sure.
and more
Yeah.
productive experience because
Yeah.
you could like talk to anyone. Like I could be like, yo, Rumeis, like I could just be
Yeah.
super chill with him, and
Yeah.
then he'll understand.
Understand?
Unless it was like someone like more higher, like some,
Yeah.
like I don't know, like you know,
Nah, you're right. And I think like what you were just saying to add on to that, man, is like, and I've kind of realized when working with people in corporate, yo, dude, you know what everybody appreciates? Just being genuine. Yo, just be yourself. Like for real. Like you don't know who you could inspire, you know? Like, yo, it doesn't matter. And this is something that I learned through like just learning about sales and just learning about business itself. When I was younger, I used to like have like a binocular, like a damn. I hate to use this word, but it's like have like a Caucasian binocular, right? There's a certain way, like you gotta talk like, oh, Mr. Adams or Mr. Steve, you know. So there's a certain way, but the thing is, yo, that's not me, man. Like I grew up in Jamaica, Queens, dude. You feel me? Like I grew up in the hood. Like I grew up in Jamaica, Queens. So I came straight from Dhaka. I moved to Jamaica, Queens. So there's a certain way that we speak in the. It's not just New York. I'm sure it's the other cities in America as well. There's a certain, especially the inner cities. Let me put it that way. There's a certain way that the people in the inner city speak. A lot of people call it slang. A lot of people call it hood. Whatever it is. One thing I learned, right, as I've grown in sales, in business, people embrace and people really appreciate when you're genuine. Yo, I went from not being able to close no deals to like closing like 2-3 deals every day just by talking like myself, bro.
This is the thing, right? I asked a good mentor person who I looked up to, right? A good advice is like actually like speaking to a lot of people and like getting to know a lot more people. Like he's like one of those guys that just goes up and he's like he knows these people, right? I'm like, bro, you gotta help me. He gotta help me out with this. Like, how do you actually get to know these people? Like, you got some advice for this, right?
Yeah.
And then he was like, just genuinely be curious about them.
Yep. That's it.
He was like, he said this so simply,
Yeah.
but like, it makes sense because if I genuinely want to know about you, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I genuinely want to know about like more of how you do your operations with all the startups that you do,
Yeah.
or like genuinely how the transition from Dhaka to here was and everything.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of stuff that you could teach
Yeah.
me that I never even wanted to know.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and like, there's a lot of stuff that you know
Yeah.
that could benefit me and a lot of other people.
And vice versa. And vice
Exactly.
versa. You feel me? Yeah. So I mean, yeah, man, it's like I think that's key to like anything that you do in life, right? It's just like, yo, just be genuine, man. Like people feel it. That's what it is. Like that's what I learned, especially in business. You could kind of feel when somebody's trying to get one over on you, and then you could feel like, okay, this brother, like he not just after my money. This brother actually kind of cares about like what's going on in my business and in my life, you know?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Like if, you know, the one thing that I would like people to walk away from this, if they didn't listen to the whole thing or not, but yo, just be genuine. I don't care what field you're in. I don't care where you are in the world. Be yourself, man. Because it
think,
really
yeah.
takes you far, you know?
I think like more of like the way that like, you know, I'm like my teenage years, but like I'm learning stuff right now. Like I used to be pretty isolated when I was like in Egypt and stuff. Like I never like got out, you know, like it was just like, oh, you know, you and then your family, that's it. But then like once I started getting on the podcast and started doing all this, I realized that it's like I don't know how to speak to people. I don't know how to interact with people. You know, that was like a awakening kind of thing. So then I started researching more into like how to actually speak with people. Like even right now, I started like have the stuff that I say, like I can't get the point through straight out. So like I had to say like multiple times in order for me to get it through.
Okay.
And like that's a weakness. But like what I realized is that the main problem that a lot of people have is apparently that if speaking is like a practice thing. If you don't practice that, then you will get let go of it.
Yep.
And that's something that's happening a lot to a lot of people right now with social media, especially.
Yeah.
And like me, I never spoke to another person in depth like that.
Right.
So like, I'm kind of experiencing it right there.
Yeah, and I'd like to add on, like, when I was a kid, right, my parents always used to be like, yo, stay home, don't, like, really, unfortunately, right, but, like, they're like, don't really stay out that long. I mean, typical Daisy
Stuff, yeah,
right? So I was giving out a public testimony, right? Because NYCFC is creating a stadium right near City Field, right? And they have to like call up random people to like say why we should or we should not create a stadium. And I actually was there like talking to like real like people with suits and like, you know, and like the real deal. Like they're like
Men in Black.
no, we're like, I was like, they're like, Samir, please come up to the. I'm like, yo, chill. But like, I was actually getting nervous, but I never thought like I would ever go up to the stage and like really say my. Like I always stutter, right? I'm like, what do I say? What do I say? But like, it shows like how, like, yeah. Anyway,
dude, you know what it shows, my brother? It shows growth.
I know, yeah,
That's what it
definitely,
shows,
because like you have to like keep on practicing like the skills that you don't know, because people usually like hide, like I don't want to do this, I'm scared, or like they don't want to grow, right? And then you just have to like fight through it. And that's the skill like people really need.
Being uncomfortable, I think, is a skill, and being uncomfortable, I think, is one of those things that could really, really determine the amount of success and happiness you have. Is like, yo, just being uncomfortable, dude. You gotta throw yourself out there into situations that you're like, oh man, I don't want to do this. So there's this one video that I seen, and I'm still researching this. It's like, so there's this portion of your brain, right, that kind of activates when you do things that you don't want to do, and that same part of the brain is the reason why you could live longer, right? Think about it. Nobody.
I know.
You see
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know if you listen to the exact podcast that I was listening, but Andrew Huberman. He's a neurologist.
Yeah, it was a neurologist.
He's a neurologist. He's like a long beard, kind of like old black.
That. Yes.
Yeah. So this man, him and Chris William, they were talking about how it's called ACMCD or something. I don't know. It's a complicated some name. I don't know if that's the exact terminology, but that's basically the brain that's involved in you doing the hard work.
Yep.
Right? Yep. Which kind of processes your brain and activates that part of your brain to do the hard stuff.
Yep.
And like it gets you thinking, you know. And then it, as you said, it like has a lot of health benefits.
It could prolong your life. You know, it could literally prolong your life. You know,
and that's like something big. Trust me.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Especially in this day and age, man, where like everything is like kind of, I hate to say it, man, it's like our diets. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a lot of stuff in the American supermarkets that are illegal in other parts of the world. You feel me? Like Oreos. Oreos, dude. Yeah, man.
Fruit Loops.
Where?
Oreos are illegal, and I don't know the exact countries, but there are countries where you cannot eat Oreos, dude. It's illegal.
Fruit Loops.
That's my childhood.
Fruit Loops. The yellow thing that they use. The yellow
dye.
Acid. It's like the dye or acid that they use is like actually like help.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, man.
Bro's learning stuff.
Nah, it's funny because like, yo, like the podcast name is Heart to Mic. You know what I mean? That word heart, it's such a powerful word, right? It's like, and again, like pretty much like what we put into our bodies really does affect your heart. It affects your mind. It affects your heart. It really affects everything, really, you know? So it's like now as I'm getting older, I'm like learning more about, damn, man, maybe I shouldn't eat that cheesecake at night. You know what I mean? You guys, I don't know, man. You guys probably could still eat sugar at night, right?
Nah, I mean, no, I try to like maintain a healthy diet, to be honest. Because when I was young, I used to be like this chubby guy, yo. That was
real?
Crazy. Yeah, I know.
Bro, I would have never been able to tell, man.
But like, also I seen on like TikTok, right? I seen like a company, an ice cream company, right? You know those ice cream sandwiches, like that have the chocolate and then there's it's like a sandwich with vanilla, and then someone like it's supposed to melt, right? But like someone put it out and then it just never melt.
Oh, dude, that's like the I just seen a video today, man, about this lady that saved a McDonald's cheeseburger for 24 years, and then she took it out.
And it's still the same thing.
It's still the same thing.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe I used to eat McDonald's. Astaghfirullah, bro. I can't believe I used to eat McDonald's, man. That's crazy.
One thing I want to really state, like, this has surprised me, right? So I believe it's Insider. I think they were going, Food Insider is the channel.
Okay.
Right? They were going over, they're like pretty big.
Okay.
They have multiple channels: Business Insider, Food Insider. I think this is a pretty famous channel. Like I
heard about Business Insider for sure.
Yeah, like they have the food side of it too, right?
Dope.
So They went comparing ration sizes and food sizes and ingredients compared to USA versus other countries.
Okay.
So I believe they were comparing UK, United Kingdom's French fries of McDonald's with ours, right? And UK's ingredients was, this is all based off of McDonald's website, right? And okay, so let me ask you this question, right? What do you think is the ingredients that you need to make French fries?
Potatoes, salt, salt. That's it, no?
Like other
And oil,
stuff.
I guess, to fry it.
Yeah, right. So you need oil, you need
Potatoes.
and like some seasoning,
Yeah,
right?
some
Seasoning,
seasoning. Yeah.
Right. But that was the ingredients for the UK one.
Right.
Now you look at the USA one. That's like 150 long list.
That's crazy. Yo.
Yeah.
And-
damn, bro.
In the history of French fries with McDonald's is that they had this I think the fat acid or something of the cow that they
Okay.
had.
Okay.
I believe it's called like a gelatin kind of thing, right? It was they banned it. They banned it in the US from
Wow.
mixing it, right? So they banned it in the US,
Okay.
but and then the McDonald's they moved away from it. They were like, yeah, but like the taste decreased.
Right. Wow.
Now, like, they were losing customers. They were like, oh, we can't lose revenue right now, right?
Right.
And they did bring that back in a way that was different. So they did the same thing again. They did something that was illegal, but in a different way that actually did help them survive.
Right.
But it's still banned.
Right.
Like,
Wow.
I think it's under a different name or something, but it's still, it's still the same thing.
I think they like these big companies add these like flavors just to make it like addictive, or like
Addictive,
so
yes.
they come back and then they eat and then it's, you don't know that, but it really is ruining yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just the sad reality about it.
A lot
Of
of it's like
course.
worse than drugs, dude. A lot of the food that's out there
Yeah.
right now, it's like literally worse than drugs, man. It's like worse than cigarettes. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, it gives me chills, dude, just thinking about it.
That's the thing, right? When the Industrial Revolution started, they had all these cars, everything, right? Everything was brand new. You wanted the new watch that they came out with, right? It was all brand new technology. But what happened was, so let's say for example, right now you start giving out food to everyone, right? Eventually, everybody's gonna be full. Nobody's gonna want anymore,
Right.
right?
Mm.
But you still need to give out the rest of the food, right? So the same thing happened with the Industrial Revolution. They already gave out everything that the people needed. So what happened was the corporations, they went in and they started doing research in neuroscience, right?
Wow.
Using neuroscience advertising.
Wow.
So what they did was use the psychology of the brain and figure out what the brain might need, like how to trigger certain colors and everything.
Wow.
They did deep research into this, right? And then after doing all these research, that's why now you have the K,
K?
the K, right? The letter K
K, okay.
is weird, right? You know how, like, let's say for example, like craft.
Okay.
Craft is normally spelled with
I see.
a C.
Right.
You see a K,
Right.
right? Krispy Kreme,
Right. That's what I see, but
supposed to be with a C, but
Uh-huh.
there is, I think, the K,
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme, right? And then there is more
Yeah.
like that, right? So that's basically one of the outcomes of the psychological thing.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the whole video, but it was like, this was the first 5 minutes or something. It was like amazing, like the way
Yeah.
they explained it.
It's-
It's kind of, like the way that
Nah,
the reason why is
it makes you think. It makes
Yeah.
you think like, yo, like what's like who's really with me, you know? Because like the same thing happened with I don't know if you guys ever heard of these two guys called Edward Bernays and Sigmund Freud. So these guys are known as like the fathers of PR and marketing, pretty much, right? So this is how women in America started smoking cigarettes, right? So pretty much before, right? Only men were smoking cigarettes, right? And then men went off to the world wars. They came back, blah, blah, blah. So I forget if it was Edward Bernays or Sigmund Freud. They're related, by the way. One of them, Sigmund Freud, is Edward Bernays' uncle, I believe, right? or it could be the other way, but I'm pretty sure Sigmund Freud is Edward Bernays' uncle. So one of them, what they did is they pretty much threw a parade, right? They threw a parade with it was this was like the time of like women empowerment, you know, when women were just getting the right to vote, they were just getting the right to drive in America, you know, all those things. So pretty much they threw this parade, and in this parade, very smartly, what they did is some of the girls in the front, what they did is they started smoking cigarettes. They're like, yeah, if a man could do it, I could do it. You know what I mean? They started taking large pulls of like cigarettes, dude. Yo, that's how women started smoking cigarettes in the name of freedom. You understand? And then years down the line, dude, they're like, oh man, oh, this is bad for me. You know what I mean? So
I think it's the same thing that's happening with e-cigs right now.
E6, oh dude, E6 scared me. That whole industry, I'm sorry, dude. I see a whole bunch of people like pulling on these like metal things. Okay, so one thing is like, at least with cigarettes, you know it's bad for you. You know what's gonna happen. You know the things. With e-cigs, there's not enough research, dude. You know, so may Allah guide us, bro.
I mean, I'm telling you, like when I was in high school, every bathroom stool there's just smoking with these colorful stuff. I'm pretty sure it remains in high schools.
And that's why, man, I really appreciate brothers like you guys that are on that positive vibe, right? That are working on positive businesses, right? Because like the thing is, bro, like corporate America is always gonna have its agenda. They're always gonna have their agenda, you know. But you know what's more powerful than corporate America? A whole bunch of people that are united. You feel me? Which is harder said than done. We might not be able to accomplish that, but who knows, bro? Maybe my kids, your kids could accomplish that. You feel me? So it's all about just like creating things that are beneficial, that are truly beneficial, without having that how do I put it? That agenda, that hidden agenda, you know? Which, in order for us to do that, we have to first discover the hidden agendas, you know, not to go into like conspiracy theories and stuff, but like, you know what I mean? First, you got to know, like, okay, like, yo, like, again, like, there was a period of time where things that are supposed to be illegal are legal. It's even now, bro, things are supposed to be illegal are legal. Things that are supposed to be legal are illegal, you know? So, yeah.
I mean, like, going back to the cigarettes, right? The way that they stopped people from smoking cigarette, the teenagers specifically, is not by showing them that there's health risk, right? They showed them a lot of health risk and everything. They were like, oh, nah, it's all right, you know? And what happened was that they said that, oh, by you guys drinking, no, not drinking, smoking, right? By you guys smoking this cigarette, you're using your money and you're just fueling the people, the big corporates. You're basically putting money in the big corporates. So they said that, oh, you're putting money in the big corporates. So then, do you really want to do that, or, you know, you're like, you know that teenage ego that comes in, kicks in. Like you're like, oh, why am I making this man more rich? You know, by like buying that stuff. That's how they stopped them.
That's wild.
That's like wild. Pretty stuff.
But I think you need to like set up, and be a great example, honestly, because like. Really, people like look up to you. Like the youth looks up to you, and then they develop themselves because like. If you see like the society, they're all smoking, and that's cool, right? I think that's cool. The people will think that's cool. And then they'll become like conditioned into that.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true.
I think like
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now, what I was gonna say is like we gotta make things that are actually cool. Like working out, eating good, eating vegetables. You know what I mean? Like, which is again harder said than done, right? But the things that are actually beneficial, those are the things that we have to like kind of seem quote unquote cool, you know? Cause yo, like truly that's what it is. Like, you feel me? Like, especially like as we get older, it's like, yo man, like not sleeping's not cool, dude. Getting 7-8 hours of sleep that's cool, bro, you know? So.
But then you add the business aspect, like vape companies, what they're looking at money, right?
Money, yeah.
The kids, spend market more.
You want to know the funny story of how the e-cig started?
How?
So the first company that came out was Juul, right? Juul was started.
Oh, I remember those guys. Right.
Right. So I think they got in a lawsuit and everything right now because they didn't know FDA approval. Right. So the reason that they started was so good-hearted. The reason was that they wanted to get the adults that were in the cigarette, right, to get rid of it. Using that, and like that was supposed to be a way to get rid of it.
Okay.
But these guys, they saw the advantage of how much money flowed in through them going to kids and everything, right? and they were like,
Damn.
you know.
Yeah.
But
Wow, that's
you know,
that's
and then
deep,
after
that's
that,
deep,
what he
that's deep.
said, you know, it went into the fact that corporates now want money, and now
Yeah.
you got these different companies. But Juul started most of the impact
Yo, I
that you
remember
see
that
right
when
now.
Juul came out, a lot of people were looking at it as like a savior to like cigarette smokers, right? I remember
It
that.
was supposed to be, that's the mission and the
Right.
vision, I think, of them.
Wow.
But it didn't end up in that manner.
Yeah,
Right.
even like drugs, man. Like they're
Uh-huh.
made in like Sour Patches. They're targeted for
Yeah.
kids. And that's a different story.
Yeah,
But
man. Yeah, that's
it's
kind of
just-
wild, dude. That's kind of wild. That's why, like, I think it's great, like, if we just, like, you know, just everybody that we're involved with. Because, again, like, the world is so big, it's going to get influenced by, like, different corporate agendas. People are always going to be influenced, right? But at least the people that we could influence, we got to influence them to do the right thing. Like, as far as, like, halal businesses, you feel me? That's why I love all these halal burger places, all these halal restaurants that's coming out right next to a McDonald's, bro. You see the halal joint full, and you see McDonald's, 2 people in there. You feel me? The 2 people in there just getting soda. That's it, because they still got the dollar
The
large
dollar,
drinks.
yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
The fact that the McDonald's, like the franchise and everything, that they
Uh-huh.
have these dollars stuff, but like New
Yeah.
York, right? When it comes,
Yeah.
like, you don't have those. You have the dollar stuff, but if you go to the, okay, for now, right? We're in Jamaica, right?
Right.
You walk. You don't even walk down. You just drive down like 179th Street. You see, what is that? White Castle,
Yeah.
and then you see KFC,
Yeah.
and
They're
then you
all
see
next to each
McDonald's right
other.
there,
Yeah.
all empty.
All empty.
All
Yes,
empty, or
yes.
just like there's driveway. That's it.
Yes. Yes.
Drive-throughs.
And
But,
I
like-
love seeing that. I love seeing those places empty, man. I love it. I love it. Shout out to all the halal places that's opening up, man, all throughout New York, all throughout the country, man, you know? So I love seeing that because, a lot of the places, like, shout out to, like, Halal Munchies, man.
Hello,
Those-
Munchies,
yo,
Texas,
you feel me?
Atomic Wings.
Yeah, man, a lot of those places, like, they got genuine food, you feel me?
Yeah, McDonald's got enough money, man.
Yeah, and they got enough money. Yeah, you're 100% right, my brother. And even though they got enough money, they still try to make more and more and more money, you know?
Yeah.
So,
But you know the funny part is, right, that these businesses that such as like McDonald's and everything, they don't really consider themselves as like a franchise of like food. They consider them as a real estate business.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm glad you
I
know
don't
that.
think you know that.
I mean,
Nah, it's real estate. You ever seen the McDonald's documentary?
no.
Dude, it was like I forgot the guy's name, man. There was a guy who was like going around selling like medical devices or something, and then he came across a McDonald's, the first ever McDonald's. I forgot where it was, somewhere in like one of those middle states, right? And then he just pitched it to the idea. He just pitched the idea like, yo, like let's sell this. Let's sell whatever you guys are doing here to other places. So now what they needed is they needed real estate. They needed places. So like you were saying, it's real estate. It's a real estate
So
business.
like
Dude.
they just grow and then like,
Yeah.
I mean, McDonald's is everywhere.
It's
Like,
everywhere now.
Everywhere.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
everywhere that they have is a piece of land worth a lot of money.
Money. Yeah.
I mean,
That's a
yeah.
fact.
Think about it.
Yeah, but it's just crazy like what money makes people do though. You know what I mean? Money, like, yo, that's one thing, like, as you guys continue growing, it's like, yo, bro, like money is definitely does not equate to happiness. And I'm not gonna say that like, oh, like you don't need money to be happy. No. The person that said like money doesn't buy happiness, they might not have had enough money, right? But at the same time, it's like I like now as I've gotten older, I see that true happiness, my brother, is from like connections. It's like genuine connections. It's from like genuine having meaningful relationships, you feel me? And also like just like again back to the whole point of like the whole point of purpose. Just having purpose, bro. That's true happiness, you know.
So going on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you mentioned a lot of advice, but one thing, if you were, so you have 2 options, right? You could say an advice that to yourself 3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
or you could say to someone who is younger than you
Mm-hmm.
that is just thriving out. What are your
Okay.
thoughts?
Okay. So dude, I could do both. Like definitely to somebody that's starting out, that's young. Especially like no matter what field you're in, dude. I would say like, yo, closed mouths never get fed. You
What do you
have to ask. Closed mouths never get fed. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
if you want to learn about something, if you wanna sell something, if you wanna promote something, be willing to speak about what you're doing. You know what I mean? Don't be that person that just like, oh man, I'm gonna share this when it's perfect. Dude, there's no such thing as perfection. you know. So yeah, man, as far as advice to myself, man, 3 years ago, dude, just like more discipline. You know what I mean? Like when I was coming up, like I had a lot of alhamdulillah, like like my life's been full of like surprises and like a lot of fun, but it's like I would just like be a little bit more disciplined, you know? So, and just do things that like build discipline, I would say, you know? So a lot of the times it's about doing the boring things. I would say it's about doing the boring things over and over and over again. You feel me? So yeah, man. But also don't do things that's not working. Cause if you see that something's not working and you keep doing it, you know what that's called? Insanity.
Insanity.
That's called insanity, my brother.
Yeah, I
feel
read
me?
that thing in the
Yeah.
Ego is the Enemy.
Yeah,
by
and also
Ryan
just be
Holiday.
willing to learn, bro. It's like, yo, like one of my favorite parts of like being in this dunya is being on Earth is the fact that I get to witness humans and people from all different races, all different age groups. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
especially, that's what I love about what you guys are doing. You guys have people from all different age groups come here, which I think is like really, really important because a lot of like people that I've seen coming up now that are a lot younger, they don't want to listen to people that are older than them. You know, for whatever reason, they don't want to do it. That's cool, man. But yo, like, I've learned a lot from just like observing and talking to people like 2, 3 times my age. You feel me? So just always have that. I think that's my biggest advice to anybody, right? Is like always have that mentality of like learning. Like go learn. You could learn just as much from a homeless person that you could learn from a multimillionaire, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You know?
that's,
I heard
yeah.
that advice before.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I think that's true because the life teaches everyone the same lessons. Because what you said right now, the half of these lessons or the advices that you gave me right now,
Mm-hmm.
I read them or I heard them or I already experienced them,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing that you said,
Yeah.
a homeless man goes through the same stuff. A millionaire, in order to become a millionaire, has to go through the same stuff.
Right.
But the only thing that's different is their mindset. Maybe like the
The
fact that
mindset,
they, you
yeah.
don't want, they, you know, like, because there is this quote that you could give a person, a homeless person, $1 million, he will come back as a homeless man again in 6 months.
Right. Right. I heard that. Yeah.
Because, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because this is because anyone could make money. Making money is not the hard part, but how to handle money is the hardest part.
Hard part. Yeah. And I think the other side of that is like you could make a millionaire homeless and then he'll still come back and be a millionaire, right? Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to add on also like like you gotta learn how to make adjustments with with your connections because like you would learn something new, right? And then people will not imply that to your own lives. Like people will make mistakes and then they'll be like, "Oh, I made a mistake," but then do it again. But then they won't realize that you gotta like learn how to like adapt and then become a better person with the
Right.
connections you meet.
Yeah.
So like the podcast we're doing, we're having like new guests over and over.
Yeah.
We're learning like bits and bits of everyone, and
Yeah.
we're growing ourselves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think like from the start, the first podcast that we did, first podcast with Hassan Dawood, to this podcast right now, I think my communication skills has improved to the point where I actually could talk. Like,
Right.
if I'm talking right now, I'll be starting right now, right?
Yeah.
And like, there's a lot of things that we learned like that, and I really enjoy talking to you. You know,
Nah, for sure. Nah, thanks for having me,
thank
dude.
you.
And
Thank you for coming
yo,
on
man,
today.
like, yeah, I look forward to your future episodes. You feel me?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you
yeah.
could probably do a feature episode with us
Yeah,
again.
man. I just hope
special
like,
appearance.
yeah.
Special appearance, you know, coming
I just
back.
hope, dude. I just hope this was beneficial to the people watching and stuff. And yo, like, just keep doing your thing, man. That's the biggest thing. Is like the fact that you guys. One thing, bro, is like, yo, make sure you guys give room for each other to grow. You know, you're working on your craft. You're working on your craft. You're working on your craft. You know, each one of you are gonna continue getting better at what you do. And whether business works or not, at the end of the day, you guys are brothers, right? You feel me? Like one day, inshallah, like you go to him, like y'all need $1 million. You're like, yo, no problem. Here's $1 million. You feel me? So just just stay together and just keep growing. Shout out to Heart to Mike.
Thank
Me
you.
out here.
Alright.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for watching the episode of Heart to Mic, produced by Mars Studios.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and share it with your friends.